Welcome to EDLD 5318 Instructional Design. My name is Stephanie Wells, and I will be walking you through my program for this semester. A little about me. I am a full-time faculty for Dallas College Radiologic Technology program since 2005. I worked as a radiographer for 11 years before becoming a teacher, so I didn't follow the traditional path into teaching. I was a working technologist, and then I became a teacher. I have designed an innovation project in this ADL program to implement blended learning across multiple courses in the curriculum. I am working with very seasoned educators, though, so it is very challenging to change their minds about how to present material when we already have a successful program. We're divided about half and half that came from education after they were technologists, and then the other half that were working technologists just like me. So it took 20 years to convince me to do it differently because we were successful. But because I've been in this program, now I understand and believe that we can do it better, that makes more what makes more sense for the students. And so that is the goal of this program that I'm presenting this semester. So my subject will be adding blended learning to the radiography curriculum, and I will be teaching that to my fellow educators in the radiologic technology program in order to change their mind about how we do things. The important documents that are influencing our instructional design are obviously the course syllabi. All of the courses are interconnected in some way. And so we have to consider that, and then how we already assess our program. So the Joint Review Commission on Education and Radiologic Technology accreditation standards for assessment. We have a self-study where we have set what our program standards are, how we are assessing. And then within our profession, we have the American Registry of Radiologic Technologists curriculum guidelines. So all of those will be used in influencing our instructional design. From an educator perspective, within the radiology program, we do competency-based learning because we have to ultimately sit and pass a national test just like nurses do and many K through 12 educators do. But for this program, we want to figure out how to incorporate outcomes-based learning so that we can make those students more self-directed learners. So we're going to set some clear learning goals. We're going to align the teaching with the assessment. And then we're going to make real-world skills and continuous improvement part of that. So we're going to do that in an outcomes-based learning model. We will be using Bloom's taxonomy to affect our instructional design. We're going to start with the Fink's three-column table using backward design. So we're going to outline the intended outcomes, and then we're going to work the opposite way to figure out what our assessment will be. We're going to define activities that will meet those learning goals by using higher level thinking. So we're going to analyze, evaluate, and create opportunities within the curriculum to promote learning based on their experiences. How will we be balancing assessment of, for, and as learning? This course will be challenging other educators in the radiology program to look at how student assessment is done and then redefine that. Currently, there's a great deal of assessment of learning by using summative assessments. The higher learning that we currently do is using assessment for learning, checking milestones and previous knowledge. This course will be exploring how do we use assessment as learning. So the educators that are participating will be monitoring their own learning and making decisions about how they can influence new learning. And the goal being, of course, that we transform the program to that way of assessment. Will we be able to promote deeper learning? Bates defines that as the developing learner's abilities to think creatively and critically. So to question the assumptions, evaluate evidence, and think creatively about solutions. So that's what we're going to be doing essentially through the whole 5 weeks of the program. We're going to be working collaboratively with other educators that teach cooperative courses. We're going to learn how to communicate and articulate what we're trying to bring across in both written and oral communications. And then we're going to learn how to learn. And so how we best manage our own learning and how we can actually adapt to the learning of others. So who will be controlling the learning in this particular course, and what will my job be as the lead educator? I will be mostly acting as a facilitator for the learning. The participants will be in control of their own learning, but they will be working creatively and collaboratively with other educators that share course load and information together. So all of us will play a part in mentoring each other and facilitating the learning for ourselves as the student or the learner in this particular program. So we started, again, I'm using the Fink's 3-column table or Bloom's taxonomy to inform my instructional design. So for every table, you have to create a big, hairy, audacious goal. So, like I said at the beginning, the goal is to transform the thinking of the rad tech faculty, that blending learning techniques can meet the goals of assessments and enhance the learning experience. So even though we do things well, that we have great outcomes right now, there is a better way to enhance that learning for the students. And so we need to meet them where they are, which means that we need to actually um, update and modernize how we do what we do. So let's talk about the pieces of that Fink's 3-column table. First, we have to establish what our foundational knowledge is, that we want to improve the student experience, student engagement by meeting assessment goals, and learning to be more inclusive to different learning styles. So we all know there's plenty of research to back up that traditional learning is not the best way to learn. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to figure out, or we're going to watch what blended learning is and assessment is. We're going to identify the areas within our programmatic assessment process that we could explore to update using technology tools. And we're going to do that by doing group discussion and activities and feedback and discussion within the instructors that already use technology in the classroom. Again, I have a divided group. Some have the theory of education behind their teaching, and some came straight from the technology into the program. And so the challenges are there, but there is some knowledge that is there. Next, we're going to apply that by exploring what the tools are that are available to us in the program. And we're going to have a group discussion and talk about our own digital literacy and the student digital literacy. Integration, we need to remember that we have to prioritize pedagogy over technology and only use technology as an enhancement, not a replacement. There's no reason to give a digital tool to replace a paper tool. So we have to figure out how to cross those things over and where they can best be utilized for collaboration. For the human dimension and the caring, obviously we want the educators to feel no fear of failure so that they can create activities for the students that are real life, that make sense, and that we're not abandoning their regular educational tools. We are just enhancing them. And how do we keep on learning? Well, we're going to share our experiences, our resources, and our best practices related to the technology integration. And we're going to set up an opportunity for self-assessment and goal setting, and some peer mentoring and troubleshooting. This course is going to take place over 5 weeks. Every week, we're going to have a recap of the week before. We're going to have a short video. We'll start with our course goals, what are best practices currently being utilized in the classroom. Then we will work to improve our own digital literacy. We will move into how important collaboration is and real life experiences are. We will create some activities. Then we will implement our first activity, which needs to be active learning, and then we will reflect and do some feed forward and some planning for the future. So 5 quick weeks of what I have learned in a complete program. I have included my references here, and I'm sure that these will expand as we move forward.